All right. Hello, everyone. Today we have our special guest. It is our Renaldo, who plays Luca Cipher Bianchi. And I'm just going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself on today's behind the scenes with Silent Token, the SAG AFTRA short film. Here you go.
Yes, so I am Renaldo Mancini, and I do play Luciano the Cipher Bianchi. Um, Very touched and very humbled to be part of this whole project. I'm just gonna, I've been doing this for a few years now, and let me just start by saying that, I've known Camila for probably over years, right?
Wait. I'm editing this
And you're
out.
gonna edit that, I know, that's
Not
okay.
giving that away. A
Let me,
long, a
but
long time.
it's been a long time. But listen, although we've lost touch over the years, I was totally shocked to see her one day on a film set that I was working on. And we reconnected, and it wasn't until then that I actually found out that, her love and her passion for the art of filmmaking and acting, I had no idea. So we stayed in contact, and then after a while, you got in touch with me and you said, "Hey, I got this role, and I think you fit the part very well." And I knew right then and there, knowing your background at that point, that if I didn't take the role, I would deeply regret it.
Right.
So I said, "You know what? I have to go do this," and I think I'm right. So, but and I knew you would use your talent and your knowledge and your experience, to guide me and bring out the best in me,
Yeah.
right? So, and I mean, hey, I even passed up going to a family wedding to do the shoot.
Yes.
So
And thank
that
your
that
wife for that. Because I
yeah,
did
that
I
shows a
see
lot of
that.
dedication on my part, I think.
And it's a lot of dedication because I actually later that night I'm checking social media and I see your wife posted a wedding and you're not in, and I felt horrible. But then at the same time, I'm like, wow, this means a lot. This film is
Yeah.
going to come out great.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if it was an easy thing to do, everybody would do it, right? So
Right.
I'm figuring, I think this is a great opportunity. And like I said, with your background, I said, who the hell knows? Maybe this could be my foot in the door, or maybe, something's going to take off. And, um, but in all honesty, when you approached me on it, at that point, I felt like, hey, you know what? Maybe she sees something in me that I don't see. Okay. So, and like I said, that I totally figured that, you would bring out the best in me, to be the best I could be, and you guided me through the whole thing anyway, which you were great about, and you kept your patience, you kept your cool, you weren't, snapping at the actors, so, but, yeah, I think it was great. I mean, I was all in, so I'm good.
Thank you. Yes, because like you said, when we met on that, we knew each other a long time. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and
Hmm.
who would think full circle, all these years
Yeah.
later, you meet on that film set, and I remember like I when I started creating this script and this story, and then with the background of being on a cop show for a
Hmm.
while, and then saying like, let me develop this story. And as soon as I came up with the character, which is like one of the main evil
Right.
characters, but has this strong personality, who's secretive, mysterious, and
Right.
holds the secret to this part of the story that will be revealed somewhat down
Hmm.
the road. But I immediately thought of you. And I was like, I remembered being on that set and watching you play a role of one of those characters in that film.
Right.
And I said, he would be perfect for this. So when I did call you, I was like, fingers crossed. I hope.
Oh, and I'll tell you another reason why I really wanted to do it, aside from your skills and stuff, was that it's the first time I was ever asked to do a role outside of being typecast as a gangster.
Well, yeah.
So, I'm always playing, the head guy, the mob boss, or this, or one of the soldiers, and blah blah blah. And I mean, I've played that role for so long, I felt like I was actually becoming a mob boss, so. And
Right.
it just, I was kind of typecast that way, and I'm just like, I got to get away from this. And then we did a shoot one day, and I had a guy, a director, a cinematographer looking at me, and he goes, you know what? He goes, you could play an Italian, you could play a Puerto Rican, you could play Latino, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be, and I'm like, really? And he goes, hell yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So that kind of lifted my spirits.
Right.
So I wanted to get out of that comfort zone thing because to me, it's like, the way we grew up. To me, playing a mob guy is like second nature. You know,
Right. Right.
it's not a, it's
Right.
not a big deal.
When we had the film in the film festivals, and their immediate reaction when they see the teasers, they're thinking, oh, there's like a mafia, but there's more to it. So
Right.
let me go to one of the questions that I had lined up. What was your biggest element of your talent that you brought to your character?
Felt that the character had to be powerful. I had to be a force to be reckoned with. But at the same time, not to be shy, but to be a little more on the quiet side.
Right. You were calculated too.
Yeah, something like that. But sometimes, less is more. You know what I
Right.
mean? So me not saying as much and just trying to deliver body language or other attributes to it is a challenge, but it's something that you have to do and learn to harness and connect with as a character because you could read a script a million times, but if you don't, I'll put it this way. For me, it's about trying to bring, or any other actor, trying to bring emotional honesty to the screen and making that character believable in the eyes of the viewer.
Right.
Right? And if you can't deliver that, you don't really have anything going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, and I believe that every line and every action, whether it's in the movies or in real life, every line and every action has a reaction.
Right.
Okay. But on set, you learn to react a little bit differently, a little more emotionally, because half of an actor's job is bringing that emotion to set, bringing it to screen. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Um,
And,
somebody says, "Oh, hey, honey, we're gonna get divorced." It's not like, "Oh, okay." You have to relate to that and be like, "Okay,
right.
what would I really say if, being married after 40 years if I was getting divorced?" But um,
But your co-star is supposed to be your son
right,
in the short film.
right,
And the story goes of the background of you is that the viewers don't know this, but it will come up eventually in
right,
some time.
okay,
But you were married young and you had this son young, and there's a
right,
whole story and mystery behind that.
right,
So the scene opens up with you and your son, and it's before words are spoken that you put into that character and not just lines. I felt like you really put emotion. Like
right,
you were honing in on being his dad.
right,
And when the viewers will see first before the lines come out, they're like, "Oh, wait." And then when you and your co-star start talking and discussing what's happening and what you're working on,
right,
and he's saying, "Hey, Pop," and you take that authoritative figure,
yep,
but we work together.
right.
How did you
Well,
feel about that?
you can't play off of each other. If you're dealing with another actor who brings nothing to the table, and then okay, like I said, every action has a reaction, but if you don't give me that action, I can't react to it.
I
You know?
felt like you and Anthony, because you did rehearsals
Mhm.
before, did a read through and a rehearsal and a walkthrough and
Yep.
everything and staged it. And I felt like you and Anthony really flowed together and
I think we
made
had a connection. I think we
had a
connected.
connection. And you both made that whole father-son working together, working on this mystery and tracking her down. The intensity was building in that scene.
It was.
It
It started to
was.
build, and those damn, what was he eating? Pumpkin seeds or whatever the hell he was eating. But yeah,
Sunflower seeds.
sunflower seeds, right?
Was a golden nugget in the film, a clue.
Right.
But the intensity was building, and I felt like after watching it, it gave the viewer something to go off of and really believe that both were
Right. Well, I mean, it was building to a point where, like, well, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? Or what's going on?
right.
So what's going on with this coin? And but yeah, I think you hit it right on the head.
And your character, what you brought to it also with you could see through that scene, the evilness of what's behind. You could see a lot of the evilness coming out and the calculated, how
Right.
he's thinking. And you really did well with that.
Well, it started off nice and calm, as me looking through my coins and stuff. And, like you said, then maybe line by line, it almost started to escalate,
Mm,
to a point where then he says something about, the woman Sonia I was looking for or
yeah.
whatever he was looking for. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not getting soft on you, and then that started
Right.
to build even further. So,
That was perfect. I love that scene. I'm telling you. And then
yeah,
when just the whole thing and the cheers and the toasting and oh yeah, we're like compatible, but you put him right back in, down to earth.
right. Put him
Son.
back in his shoes. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And
Yeah.
you could see his character too, like,
Yeah.
all right, Dad. So it's like both of you have that mysterious evilness.
Right, right.
But
And I
but
and I
look,
like the scene where the gas can's there and I'm
yeah,
preparing this stuff in this rag in there and I was like, this is gonna be good.
yep,
It's gonna
yep.
be good.
Awesome. If there was a part two of Silent Token, are you up for it? What would your reaction be?
Absolutely without reservation. As I mentioned, I know you're capable of putting together, I'm gonna say a feature blockbuster. So I think you have the talent there. It's there. I know it's a lot of work, it's a lot of dedication, a lot of time. But hey, your first go around and what we already received best thriller and best performances. So,
So
you know,
that leads me to the last surprise, and look at this.
oh wow. That's awesome.
This was for all of us.
Wow.
We've been recognized in multiple festivals and selected
Wow.
and have won Best Performance, Best Thriller, and quarterfinalists for my script and screenplay. And
That's awesome.
thank you for this. And
Thank you.
without you and the other actors, this could not be possible. And my great cinematographers. So you all are amazing, and I just want to thank you and share this with all of you. So
You're welcome. You're welcome.
thank
And always remain humble in this business.
Oh, of course. You know
You
what?
know,
We're having fun. And I
that's
wore
right.
my silent token.
See, I see it. I see it. And from when I was a kid, I always said, what better job in the world could there possibly be than meeting great people and having great laughs on set and, just it's just a whole other world.
Right.
It's a whole other world.
Right. Well,
So,
I want to wrap it up by saying thank you so much, Ronaldo,
no,
aka Luca Cipher Bianchi.
that's me.
There is a meaning behind that name that I've written into that script, and one day it will be revealed if people don't get it yet. But till next time, thank you so much for being on this interview, the
You
behind
got it.
the scenes for Silent Token.
You got it.
Awesome. Thank you, Rennie. Take
Thanks, Camille.
care.
Bye bye. Have a great one.